Most Google ad campaigns for leads fail. It's because they've never been set up properly. In this video, I'm going to go through 4 different processes that you need to understand going into it, which gives you a better use of your budget, how to compete with others, and get a far better result. Let me jump on the screen and I'll walk you through the process. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the best way to generate leads from Google Ads. If you don't know me, my name's Paul Easton, and I've been 20 years at agencies working all sorts of accounts. And these are things that I see that agencies should do, but they don't always do. So I got frustrated because it wasn't being done right. And that's what these points are. My focus is always to get the best value for your advertising, and that's what I focus on. So let's jump into it. Landing page. Now I see even agencies sending people to a standard website. Now, a standard website is not really designed to generate leads. It's not the way it's been created. It's created to portray your brand and look professional, which is definitely important. But many times, a specific landing page for Google Ads will do better than any particular page on your site. Most of the pages on your site, if you look at them, they have a menu where people can jump around, people get distracted. Some of the data I've seen, people click on some really unusual things, and that's why you need a specific landing page. And that landing page has to give the perception or the why you are better than someone else. Why should you choose you? It's time to present yourself in the best light. Now, what do you offer for free? Mostly services, particularly tradesmen, they do free quotes, all those different things. You have to have that lead in. They've just met you. You need to have that step into you. They may not be quite ready to, book a $20,000 job with you yet. But if you can start that process with a free quote, which is nothing unusual, but make it super clear and super easy to offer those free quotes or something similar. Social proof. So I talk a lot about tradesmen, but people have loads and loads of reviews about the service they've done, and they put them on a specific reviews page. And you're making the person hunt for that social proof about you. And it's why it's so important is because it's what other people have said about you and what you have done. So, next one. And make it simple to contact you. I seen this done in so many difficult ways. If you ask for a lot of information when you first contact somebody, the chances of people, more to the point, they've just arrived on your website, they don't know much about you. If you're asking 10 different questions, including, and I've seen this, asking, which house you want to buy, what your budget is, all those type of things. Yes, you can do that, but it's much better being done on a one-to-one discussion. You only want them to take that first step. So first name, email address, and phone number. That's your first step. Is if someone is serious enough, then they'll leave those details to get you to contact them back for whatever free quote you're giving them. And a free phone number. Look, I had this recently with a client. They were a local electrician, and they didn't necessarily want to have a free phone number because they were trying to portray themselves as local focused. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm talking about having a free phone number to create more trust in you. You look bigger, it's a perception thing. Your site can 100% be focused on the local community, but having a free calling number, which can redirect to your cell phone or any other number you want to be answered, makes you look bigger and more professional. It's as simple as, and they're more affordable than they ever used to be. So let's keep that in mind. So the next one, tracking is the key and connection. And the reason I've got this under landing pages, let's say, for example, you are writing ads about apples. You want apples to apples, not to apples and oranges. So let me unpack that slightly. So if your ad is talking about apples only, don't send them to a page where you say, "Oh, I do apples and I do oranges." You don't want to distract them. You want to have a natural flow from the ad is about apples, the page is about apples, and it's a quote for free apples, for example. Make it really simple and understandable for the person to come through, so it all matches together. So that's the landing page. And right keywords make the difference. And what I mean by this, I've sort of touched on it already, is simply connect those keywords and think of about this way. We're talking about focus keywords. Think about this. If you're looking for an orange, you go to an orange door. And there's one other thing I've got here. Even if some of the other keywords, let's just go back there. Some of the other keywords are slightly different. Let's say it's about management. The page talks about management, for example. You're managing in oranges. So go to a page which specifically connects. I sound like a broken record, but make that connection easy. If you see a car going down the road and it's yellow, you connect the yellow car with what that car is, and you've got to make sure that connection is super clear so that they can connect the vision through. This helps your ads perform better. It helps your pages perform better, and it actually helps people make a decision because you're being clear. Let's get on to the next one. So let's get on to tracking. The tracking is something I've seen to get really complicated, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you have a form on your site, you want to make sure that that form loads a new page after you submit that form. Some forms will generate a message, your form has been submitted. That can be tracked, but it's also harder. You want to make your tracking simple. You want to have simply a thank you page, a page which should I say, it loads after someone finishes a form, and they can tell that they have finished the form because they can see that's a thank you page and they are done. So keep it simple. Phone call tracking. I see a lot of people, and I've had this happen in the past where ads were performing fantastically, but we couldn't see why. You need to have phone call tracking, and that tracking will also tell you which keywords that you're advertising for are doing the best, and also allows you to record the phone call so that you know what's happening when the phone call is received, and even if you're missing phone calls that have come from ads. So that's where phone call tracking can really be important. And I've even seen big companies miss this out completely. And when you can't measure your advertising accurately, you don't know which part is working. So the great thing is even smaller companies can do this now. It's become more and more affordable, and any company can do it effectively. So adjustment. Now I've put in there simply testing. And what happens at step 4 is you've got ads working, but you are testing and adjusting. One of the bosses I worked with a few years ago, he said this simply: testing requires investment, and you've got to invest time and expect your ads to circle around. And there's a lot of videos up there that talk about you should just put ads up and you'll be done. And then people put them up and they're losing money and they don't understand why. This is a natural process. You'll put up ads, they'll perform reasonably well. You'll then test new ads and you'll test new pages and you'll test all these different things so they all connect together and work better. And that's where the real advantage is. Measure everything. And the process around measuring has got more and more simple. Like I've told you really simply, quickly, how to do this. Measure the phone calls, measure the forms. You don't need to measure any more than those different things. Bonus tip. So this is something that I put out and I work with clients on and off, how to give yourself an advantage. And, it's simply put is if you're let's say, for example, you're in an industry which, is builders, for example, you can offer someone a bonus being, dinner for 2 at a local restaurant for any work that started this month. And you have to do the numbers to see if this works out. But if your average customer is worth $10,000, then that average customer is still worth having you pay for a dinner out for 2. And you see how that all puts together. And what I'm trying to do here is give an advantage to you, an advantage over other advertisers, an advantage to stop people going other places, an advantage to get the business. And then those advantages turn into reviews, and then they compound on each other. So final key, and I wrote this down in centers so that I got it super clear. So be proactive. Pick up the phone when it rings. The internet is great for generating leads, but if the phone rings 5, 6, 7 times and no one picks up, the person is just simply going to ring the next number on the list, and then they're going to completely forget about you. They're going to completely even realize that they have rung someone else because they've blocked you out because you're done. Respond to forms quickly. If you don't, people will go elsewhere. Your money will be wasted, and you will not get the business. It's sort of a simple business, customer support type process. And this can be as simple as having, your wife or significant other or someone else answer the phone or respond to those forms super quickly so that you can get on the phone and talk to the customers. That's really the key, and it's simply good business practice. Bye for now, and if you found this useful, check out the link in my description here where I profile how to get more leads and boost your business by at least $5,000 a month and get 100 qualified leads that are insanely ready to buy. Bye for now.